Now, why nobody tell me that Sam had his own podcast? I really thought that Raw Re-Up was the podcast, but I guess not. He has his own podcast, and it's called Notsam Wrestling. And he talks about the Judgment Day might not break up. Hey, listen. I'm going to listen first before I speak, okay? But if you guys want to subscribe to his channel and show support, here's a screenshot right here. I checked it out. It's pretty good. He got callers. He got a radio station. That's cool. And I like that. So, but before we get to the video, I just want to play the intro of what I'm going to play for the next couple Mondays for the next time I do a video on the Judgment Day. And since this topic's about the Judgment Day, might as well play it for the one time or the two time. So let's go ahead and get started with the theme song for the new Judgment Day.
When you got Roxanne, win, 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 win. When you got Big Finn, win, 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 win. When you got JD, win, 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 win. When you got DOM, win, 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 win. When you got Raquel, win, 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 win. When you got No Live, win, 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 win. Bring back Carlito, win, 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 win. TJ to the day, win, 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 win. Baller with no Morgan, 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 win, 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 win. Yeah, I'm baller with no Morgan, win, 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 win. I ain't baller with no Morgan, win, 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 win. Cause I'm baller with no Morgan, win, 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 win. I'm baller with no Morgan, win, 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 win. When you got Roxanne, win, 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 win. When you got Big Finn, win, 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 win. When you got JD, win, 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 win. When you got DOM, win, 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 win. When you got Raquel, win, 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 win. When you got No Live, win, 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 win. Bring back Carlito, win, 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 win. TJ to the day, win, 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 win. Win, 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 win. Let's do it. Ballin' with no Morgan. Say what? Ballin' with no Morgan. Ballin' with no Morgan. Ballin' with no Morgan.
What did I say when I lost it? That it wouldn't be long till I got it back. Finn Balor with the
Ballin'
W
with no Morgan.
for the IWC.
Okay, ballin' with no Morgan. Judgment Day. Ballin' with no Morgan.
Come on now. Judgment Day's back on top. It's a new day. Yes, it is.
I've got to tell you, this Judgment Day continues to blow my mind in the sense that most of the time with factions, you get to a place where you can kind of smell, okay, they've done what they came to do. Like it's time to maybe break up the faction. And then you start seeing those teases that they're going to break up the faction. This one's fighting with that one's fighting with this one. And then all of a sudden, and I don't know any faction that has been able to pull this off like the Judgment Day has. There have been so many different times that I have watched this show and I have gone, okay, well, the Judgment Day had a good run, but now they'll separate. Dom will go over here, Balor will go over here, and it's not like catastrophic. It's just like, okay, they did what they came to do. And then somehow something happens, they rebuild, and they move forward. And it's always things that you wouldn't expect. You know, like I feel like people almost take for granted how important R-Truth was as an addition to the Judgment Day. Because we all remember how fun it was. Remember R-Truth, like, handing out the money because he was making so much money off Judgment Day merch. And he had the Tom and Nick t-shirt. And he had the t-shirt with the R-Truth, like, masking tape on the bottom of it. But those interactions, specifically, I think, between Damian Priest, who was trying to take things seriously, he was almost the Finn Balor of that time, and R-Truth, I think benefited Damian Priest tremendously because they added this whole other element to this character. But also, it made it so we were watching and we got excited about Judgment Day segments. And at the time, I think that excitement was starting to wane. You know, we weren't sitting there going, oh, I want to see what they're going to do next. Once R-Truth joined, and it was for a completely different reason. There was comedy, there was entertainment, and then I think, you know, like, the level of entertainment and comedy that Dominic provided after R-Truth kept that ball rolling. But and I think, and then adding Liv Morgan in, and just all the story of the Judgment Day is one of these stories that when it's all said and done, and it's time to break down like how this all happened, it's going to be a phenomenal thing to look at and to tell. But to watch Raw and to see that moment of the Judgment Day all standing together, all with championships. So I guess it started, and this was happening like throughout the whole show, right? It starts with that backstage with Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles. And AJ puts his glasses on, claims that the doctor's note called Dominic Mysterio a punk ass, which I don't know. I didn't see that text. And we know that Dominic's hurt, but he's still the Intercontinental Champion. And then we get to the World Tag Team Championship match, which was great. Which it was one of those reminders that like New Day is still a top tier tag team in terms of working in the ring, and Finn Balor and JD McDonough are just like they consistently find ways to get better and better and better. And I think that's why I think that it was one of those matches where when the Judgment Day had won the match, I don't necessarily think that people had chosen to cheer for them before the match started. I think it was watching the match and watching JD McDonough and Finn Balor work that just made the audience fans of these guys and made the audience go, those are the guys who should be tag team champions. And it wasn't until I saw that sort of that almost photo finish of the Judgment Day standing in the aisleway, Dominic, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, all with titles, all with pyro going off behind them, that I was like, Jesus, they're back again. Is the Judgment Day back again? And then Finn Balor, of course, goes to Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce and suggests that Roxanne Perez gets put into the tag team with Raquel Rodriguez, making her a tag team champion and thus effectively taking Liv Morgan's place as tag team champion. And we know from watching a few weeks ago, Liv Morgan is going to hate this, which is, by the way, the same thing we thought when Rhea Ripley went away and Liv Morgan started showing up. Rhea Ripley's going to hate this. But you're watching in real time, and I feel like as a fan, you're going, yeah, this is the way it should be. I felt, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like once we got to that final backstage where the Judgment Day is all standing together, and everyone, JD, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Raquel, and Roxanne, all are wearing gold. All are sitting there like in agreement, hesitation to the agreement, but agreement. You're going, we're back here. We're back here to a point where the Judgment Day is on top again. The Judgment Day all has championships. The Judgment Day all have relevant storylines. The Judgment Day are all getting me interested. And I'm watching going like, the fact that the fans cheered so hard when JD McDonough and Finn Balor won the tag team championship, I'm going, if this does like collapse, if there is a split somewhere in the Judgment Day, then who's the babyface? Who's the heel? Like, I would think originally I was like, okay, the move is Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez are the heels, and Dominic and Liv are the babyfaces. You turn Dominic and Liv babyface, and that's the split of the Judgment Day. And part of me wonders, right, is this like, no, we're going to go in a different direction, or did they go, hey, Liv Morgan is legitimately injured. She got a separated shoulder. This story that we were telling with them is no longer the story that we can tell because Liv's off TV. So let's go in this different direction. And the Judgment Day is somehow strong enough that in the middle, and not even in the middle, towards the end of a Judgment Day breakup story, you've now weaved over in this direction, and you've now got this story of the Judgment Day like as strong as they've ever been and on top, and somehow, correct me if I'm wrong, we believe it. Somehow we're sitting there going like, yeah, the Judgment Day is that faction again. And it's and I just don't think any faction besides the Judgment Day could actually get that done. I think if it wasn't the Judgment Day doing it, we'd be sitting here, we'd be fatigued, we'd be going like, I don't even know who these guys are anymore. Are they baby faces? Are they heels? Are they breaking up? Are they not breaking up? Are they winners? Are they losers? But they've figured out that group where everyone in there, and maybe it's because Dominic has become such a strong performer, maybe it's because Finn Balor is so underrated as a performer, that you're sitting there going like, yeah, the Judgment Day is it. It was just a real cool visual to see, and the fact that the Judgment Day, after all this time, we're able to be reinvented again. And we land here.
Okay, I just want to stop the video real quick to let y'all know that Raquel got some new merch for the summer, dog. And it's black and gold. It's going down for real. Now, the price is not right, but hey, the shipping is free with the code on the bottom. So you already know, if you got an extra 40, go ahead and cop this merch. Because this merch is on fire. And this girl is on fire. Raquel is off the scale with this merch, dog. And also the link is going to be on the bio, so you already know. Let's get back to the video. Raquelio!
Let me go to Frank here in Pennsylvania. What's up, Frank?
Hey,
man.
Congratulations, Sam, and congratulations to all the Busted Open Nation. We finally got what we wanted.
It's amazing.
One, I want to say I am really hoping that they allow Raquel and Roxanne to go out there. The difference in styles, I think they're going to make a great tag team.
Yeah.
I think they can do some interesting things with the size difference, and I'm always interested in that. And I like how WWE has done a good job over the last year to 18 months trying to keep championships in stories so they don't fall by the wayside. I know they got a couple that they're still kind of like building up, like the men's U.S. championship and the women's U.S. championship should get more time. But it's also nice how they're sprinkling out the championship matches through the PLEs and on the TV shows. So we're not getting just championship matches all the time, and it makes them seem a little bit more special. Plus the power kind of dynamic that the championships now have that relate to the story. It's like, hey, we're the champions. We don't have to do this or we don't have to do that. It makes them worth something again, which it's nice to see instead of somebody just holding a title being like, that's the champion and that's it.
I would agree with that. And I think part of it is Seth, like, kind of describing the championship as, I want this championship because it's a power position. It's a power play, and that's how we dictate power. But also, you know, I think the idea that if the Judgment Day aren't all standing there with titles, I don't think we feel the same way about them. I think if the Judgment Day just looks strong, but they're not all champions, you don't feel as, I don't know, secure in this idea that they're back to being winners. And I think that goes to speak to the strength of all these championships. And that can be very difficult to do with multiple championships. And I think sometimes WWE gets it right. And I think you're right. Sometimes WWE gets them wrong. Like, there are times where the titles really do accentuate what's going on. And then there are other times where we forget who the champion even is. So it's nice to see it on the other end of that. Thank you, Frank. Let me go to Reggae Dog in South Carolina. What's up, dog?
Bro, this is Reggae Dad, man. Reggae Dog.
Look, animal.
What's up, my dog?
The animal AJ Batista has decided your name is Reggae Dog. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Sam. When I call into your show, it'll be Reggae Dog from now on.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, congrats, bro. Congrats to the whole team. You know, I've been down since day one-ish. I'm your boy. And you know what I like best about the start? It's right off the top of your show.
Yeah.
You came in and you said, it was like you were speaking right from my heart when you said, basically you just said you were unapologetically positive about reggae. About wrestling, excuse me.
Reggae too. Reggae rules too.
Yes, I'm on. Okay. But you know what? That's my thing too, bro. I've been a fan of this my whole life, in and out during different times of my emotional growth, but always came back to my first love of wrestling, brother. And it doesn't matter. Even when it's bad, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes I'm sitting here with my kids, and I'm looking and I'm seeing right now, oh boy, Bully is going to tear this to shreds tomorrow. But they're sitting there laughing and loving it. So what's the difference? That's what I'm here for. those type of experiences, brother. So I'm glad that you're
Absolutely, man.
unapologetically positive.
I love it. I love
You know what I mean?
wrestling. But also, okay, so like, do you see this, because you're watching it, you're watching every single week, you're watching everything. Do you see this as a pivot where they're like, okay, maybe we were going to break up the Judgment Day, but now we're not going to break them up at all? Or do you think this is one of those like red herrings where they are still moving in the direction of we're going to split this group, but now we're going to make it hurt?
You know, that's a good question. And maybe they don't even know the answer. When I see him with that shit-eating grin and that little twinkle in his eye,
Yeah,
I do think that at some point he's going to blow things up. But, you know, they already blew it up. When they lost Rhea and Damian, you know, I was like, this ain't, I mean, these guys, I don't know if they're going to be able to hold it. But here they are, back with all the gold.
yeah.
I mean, look, a thread running through the entire show, the flagship show, was pretty much all about them. And, I mean, I got to tell you, even J.D. McDonough made a believer out of me over these last couple months. When you see that guy work and what he puts into a match and how he can make guys look like $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, we started with all the jokes about what he looks like and all that kind of stuff. But I tell you what, even J.D. Judgment Day McDonough made a believer out of me.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I think you're right. I think yeah, it's been that series of incidents. I think that the rise of appreciation for J.D. McDonough has done a lot for this group, but I think that you're right too. I think that was a good point that Reggae whoever brought up, which is maybe they don't even know. You know, maybe it's this thing where it's like, yeah, it's time to split up the Judgment Day, and then Finn Balor and J.D. McDonough win the tag team championship, get a huge babyface reaction, and they go, maybe we're not going to break up this group right now. Maybe it's not time to break up this group. I really hope that it's not like, no, we're gonna make you fall in love with the Judgment Day one more time, and then just as you're ready to see one more run, that is when we're gonna make you say goodbye.
Well, the only way they could split is if Liv Morgan caused them to split. But however, I still think that Dominic Mysterio might be the one that caused them to split. But I feel like this is what I would like. You know, I would like for like down the road, because we all know when Liv Morgan comes back, she's gonna get revenge on Finn for trying to, you know, replace her with Roxanne. Well, I ain't gonna say trying, but replaced her already. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if, hopefully, I don't know if Liv's going to get kicked out, but I need her to get kicked out, okay? Because it'll make the story even better, because you can't just bring her back and then notice that, all right, you do realize that you coming back is just a waste, right? When I would rather for you to come back and say, I quit. You know, because that's one thing I would like for Liv Morgan to do. Just say I quit. Say, hey, you don't want me in the group no more? I ain't got to be in the group no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm gone. You know what I mean? I'm out. But Dom might be looking like, you know what I'm saying? Like he wants to stop her, but he like, I got to stay loyal to Roxanne. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and then Raquel ain't going to feel nothing until later. But it's like, she feels a little down, a little regret, like just a little bit. But it's like, you know, the other two got to realize that, hey, you know, time goes by and life goes on. You know what I'm saying? You know, at the end of the day, it's about business. And that's where we got to get these fans to understand that what Dom and Raquel doing is all part of business. Do you want to be champions or do you not? Because if you don't want to be champions, go right back to Liv. But just know when you go back to Liv, you're going to be in the road of Jobberville all over again. You visit that town and you knew you had to leave because you knew that if you stay, that you will not be able to get the reputation and the credit and the respect that you deserve. Now, even though Dom is still getting booed, that's on him, you know? Like I told you, the only way he could be babyface is if he make up with his spotter. The people voted. And they want him to make up with his spotter. That's the only way to do it. You want people to stop booing you, you're going to have to make up with your father. That's the only way to do it. Okay? And you getting back with Liv Morgan is not it. And you getting back with Rhea is not it. you getting Roxanne to betray Finn Balor is not it. Even though I think that's what's going to happen. But the only way that can happen is if Dom take my advice and jump the gun. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point Finn might get mad at you. And when he do get mad at you, you're going to have to figure out how you're going to defend yourself. Because if JD's still in the group, you're going to have to figure it out. Because once JD, and I don't know if JD's going to stay one more year, but if he's still got the gold and he's still with Finn, I can see it. So, again, if JD's still around, you're going to have to get a partner. You know what I'm saying? And if Liv is still beefing with y'all, you're going to have to, work with Roxanne until you, figure out what you really want. Do you want to get back with Liv and become a jobber? Or do you want to, stay with Roxanne and try to grow with her so that way you both can become bigger than ever before? Because if Roxanne going to take over the women's division, you got to help her get to that division the same way that you help Liv. You know what I'm saying? Like, Liv don't need you. She can do this thing on her own. She really don't need you. That's why I didn't understand why Hunter would sell the merch. Like, there's no need for new merch if they're going to split. You might as well just stop with these theories and prove and show these Liv and Dom fans that it's over between those two. So to sell merch is just a waste of time because nobody's going to buy that. They can shout it out, but nobody's going to buy it. And if they do buy it, they're just buying it for a shout out. Notice how for the past couple of days while they put that merch out, nobody's wearing it. Nobody's going online, taking a picture and tagging Liv Morgan on it because nobody's going to buy that shirt. Okay? They already bought the Living Dirty shirt last year. What the hell do they need to buy some more merch for? Now, these bots online going to say, hey, I bought it. Okay. But you're not going to get a shout out. You're not going to get, nobody's going to wear that shit. I turn on my notifications on Liv Morgan stories and I get notified every day if she shout out somebody. And for the past couple of days, I haven't seen any shout out of anybody wearing the new merch. You mean to tell me that people are willing to spend, $30 or $40 on a new shirt that they've already got already? You're telling me you want people to wear that shirt knowing damn well that the predictions are in the all-time high of you guys splitting? And there's some people that still feel like there might be a chance that you guys might be together. Some people feel like you might not be together. So why lead to confusion? Nobody's going to buy that shirt. If some people in the comments that tell you different, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Even if they show a receipt, we all know that if you're not a real person and you're just a bot, we're not going to believe the hell out of you. So it doesn't matter if you have a receipt. It doesn't really matter because we don't fucking believe you. If anything, you might be a hidden user where you're just doing this because you probably work for WWE and you're just doing that just to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to buy into that. All right. Like I said, I've been walking every single day, driving every single day, and everywhere I go, I don't see no Living Dirty shirt. I'm sorry. I don't even see a Dom shirt or a Liv shirt. Only shirt I saw from WWE is a Jey Uso shirt. Yeet. That's it. Like I said, I came out of the store from Aldi's. If you ever been to Aldi's, I've been to it. I was just about to drive off and I saw a white boy with a Yeet shirt. That's it. I don't see nobody else. Like I said, I see Cody, I see Jay, I see Rhea, I see Rey Mysterio at these stores, but I don't see Liv Morgan. I don't see Dominic Mysterio. I don't see both of them together. I don't. So you guys are wasting your money on this marketing when you know damn well the best thing to do is to have Dom move on by becoming the leader of the Judgment Day. You have Roxanne, you have Raquel. Now add 2 more members. I would prefer Mexican. And you add 2 more members, 2 male members, and you add them to the group, and then you have Dom run the faction. You know what I'm saying? While you either kick Finn and JD out or you have them quit. I think that would be good because at least Dom will have his fraction and then hopefully that could get him over even more. Now, some people feel like if that idea happens, he'll lead to Jobberville. Well, he'll lead to more Jobberville if he get back with Liv Morgan or he get back with Rhea because you being with another woman is not going to help you. But if you lead somebody new and fresh like Roxanne, you can actually do something with her. You can help her win matches. She can help you win matches. You guys can actually win something. You get what I'm saying? She doesn't have to be a tag team champion. You could still be Intercontinental Champion, and then she could be Women's World Champion. That's good, because Liv Morgan wasn't Women's World Champion when you was Intercontinental Champion, right? The last time she was Women's World Champion was last year, and she lost it against your ex-girlfriend, Rhea. So what do we do in that situation? Like I said, they could lose the tag team titles. And if they do lose the tag team titles, then I don't know how Liv and Rhea are going to team up. But I will say this. If Raquel and Roxanne be the longest reign women's tag team champions, then this phrase that Liv Morgan keeps saying, that we're the greatest tag team champions of all time, is about to be passed on to Roxanne and Raquel. Because let's say if they be women's champions for like more than 300 days. That's awesome to compare to what they could have been. You know what I'm saying? 300 days max. Roxanne and Raquel, not only they'll be the greatest tag team of all time, they'll also be the greatest Latin women's tag team champions of all time. Think about it. 2 Latinas, 300 plus days as women's tag team champions. Think about that. 2 Latinas as a tag team, and they hold the belts for more than 300 days. 300 days plus. You can add it with 4, you can add it with 5. But if they hold the belts for that long and they have more than 4 title defenses, like it could be 5. It could be 5. But it'll be more than what Liv Morgan had when she was champion with Raquel. And you think that a white girl and a Latina are going to be called the greatest tag team of all time. But you got 2 Latinas holding the belts more than 300 days with more defenses that you ever had, with your so-called sister holding the belts and defending the belts for more than 300 days. Versus with you were only holding that you guys were only holding the belts for like, since February, and you only defended it like twice. Versus with Roxanne and Raquel, they defended it like 5 times. If you have to think about who's really the greatest tag team of all time, and you got to pick, who would it be? Liv and Raquel or Roxanne and Raquel? Because if Raquel and Roxanne got more defenses than you and Raquel ever did, then why are you over here lying? That's what I'm saying, man. You guys are just... That's what I'm saying. Liv Morgan just continues to lie, and you guys are just supporting her still. How the hell is she gonna be babyface if she continues to lie all the time? You talk about y'all the greatest tag team of all time, but Roxanne and when Roxanne got in, they've been having more title defenses, and they hold the belt for more than 300 days. While you have been gone, since you've been gone, they've been holding the belt more than 300 days. And they had more title defenses. So what's the point of you talking? Every time you talk, you lie. And that's what I try to explain to people. This is what I'm saying. Change is good. Because think about it. If Raquel and Roxanne hold their belts more than 300 days, that's great. Because you know why? Because not only do they hold the belts for more than time, they have more defenses. Right? They defend the belts more than 5 times. That's great. Now Triple H doing right by these Latinas. You know what I'm saying? Now some people in the comments be like, no, they're not going to hold it that long. Okay, so you don't want them to lose the belts to Liv and Rhea? You just want them to lose the belts to Charlotte and Alexa? Which I'm down, but I'm just saying, if they do lose the belts to Charlotte and Alexa, they still can go after gold. Like Raquel can go after the IC belt, and Roxanne can go after the Women's World title, and they still will have gold. They don't need Liv Morgan for that. But Liv Morgan might be the cause of them losing it, which that's going to be messed up. But again, I told you, Liv Morgan's not the problem solver in the group. She's the medicine of being the problem and the sickness of the group. And that's why she should not be returning back to the group. She should be against the group. That's what she should be. Like, you know what I mean? And if you want to defend yourself, go ahead. But just know I got receipts, and anything you say will be held against you in the court of public opinion. So again, if you want to go on, if you want to, defend yourself by saying, oh, I did this, I did that, that's fine. But I'm still going to hold you accountable because I still think there's some things that you're saying that's not adding up to the receipts that I'm putting on the screen. So again, be careful what you say, Liv, because I'm on your ass. So if you say anything that's not factual, I will put the receipts on you, and I will say that, hey, whoa, slow your roll, little mama. Let me tell you something. You see what you just said? That's going to cost you. I have receipts on everything you say, and you coming on here saying, I did this, I did that. Liv, I got receipts. Now, I will correct you. Listen, if you say something right, I'll leave it alone. But if you say something wrong, I'm going to get on your ass. Because I ain't going to let you lie to my subscribers. Hell no. You can lie. Listen, you can lie to your fans, but you can't lie to my subscribers. This is my channel. You're not going to come on here and lie. No way, no how. So, again, if you're a fan of Liv Morgan and you want to listen to the lies, go right ahead. Because like I said before, nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. But on this channel, we entertain the truth. Okay? We are entertained by the truth. We don't care about the lies. Okay? At the end of the day, you don't need Dominic Mysterio. You don't need a Judgment Day. Liv Morgan does not need the Judgment Day, and that's a fact. Okay? And anybody that comment down below and say, well, they need her. No, they don't. You just saw the pictures that I put on the screen. They don't need Liv Morgan. They never have and never will. You know what I'm saying? They don't need Liv Morgan. The bottom line is Liv Morgan does not belong in the Judgment Day. She never have and never will. Okay? She don't belong in the Judgment Day, and that's all I gotta say about that. She don't belong in the Judgment Day. What she belongs is in the main roster as a solo competitor. Now, if she team up with Rhea, do what you do. I ain't trying to stop you. But one thing I'm gonna need Rhea to understand is to watch out for is that if you do decide to team up with Liv, just know she's gonna do the same thing that you did to her in like 2 or 3 years ago. She is going to do the same thing that you did to her. She's going to attack you and go right back to being heel because I told you, Liv Morgan does not want to be babyface. She wants to be heel. So if she attack you, just know that this is what she want to do and this is what she's going to do. She wants to be heel, which I get it. You know what I mean? She like it when people hate her because she know that her fans is going to back her up. So no matter what she does, people are going to go after her. And I guess that explains that stalker. Because, hey, that stalker pulled up with that strap and say, hey, I'm tired of your bull crap, so I'm going to kick down this door and I got the fofo. So now you got to go get a fofo. Because if that motherfucker get out, like they say he facing the 5 years. You better hope he getting 10, because if he, or 15 or the max, because if he come out in 5 years and it cut down to 4, you're in trouble. You're going to have to go get a gun, because if you don't get it, you done. So you better hope that you move, because if he find out where you stay at, it's over. You already know where you stay at. But I'm talking about if you move. Like if you move to, I don't know where you can move. I don't know wherever that your animals are comfortable going. But I'm just telling you, if he find out where you stay at in your new location and he gets out of jail, you better hope you have that strap. You better hope that you're married and your man got that strap, because it seems to me like your dogs ain't protecting you like they supposed to. So I'm saying that you guys over here worrying about this Liv and Dom story, but Liv Morgan got a bigger palm in her hands. You know what I'm saying? She got bigger problems. You know what I mean? She got a target on her back. And I'm sure there's going to be some more stalkers like him that's going to kill her. And you guys got to get on your knees and you got to pray for her, because you over here worried about a Liv and Dom story, but you're not worried about her safety. Like Liv Morgan is she's in a reach of fame that she's going to have to get a bigger house and have security because she's that famous. You didn't think so, but she is. She was just on Fox News. She wasn't on there, but I'm just saying they reported it. So I'm telling you, man, Liv Morgan, she's getting to that fame, bro. And if she do some more movies, it's going to get closer to that fame to where she can't go anywhere without getting stalked. And it's going to be more like him. They're going to, I don't even know what's Liv Morgan's future going to look like, because if she don't want to get a man to protect her, then it's obvious that her life might get cut short. I'm sorry to say it. But that's why, like I said, I'm telling her, go get that fofo, go get that strap. Because bro pull up with that Prince Charming. So you better go get that Prince Nana and get the Swerve Strickland on that motherfucker. You feel me? Because I'm telling you, Liv, you better take your advice. You better take some advice from Sonya Deville, because remember, she had a stalker in her house and that motherfucker was just cluck holding. Like literally just watching her while she sleep. And he's doing 25 years, I think. But I'm just saying, like take advice from her. Go get a strap. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go get the strap. You know what I mean? And I would have reported it, but I figured there was no need because I talked about it multiple times. But that's why I'm saying, like, Liv, you over here worried about Dom, but you should be worried about your safety. Because if that stalker come back, he gonna get the clapping on you. And I ain't talking about your booty. He's not gonna turn you to a booty clapper, but he's definitely gonna clap your ass. I'm gonna tell you that, metaphorically speaking. He ain't come here for pussy, baby. He came to take you out. He came to lay that body on the floor, soak it in blood. He don't care. He want to wet you up. He ain't talking about wetting the pussy. He trying to wet you up. You don't know what I mean by that? He trying to pour out. He trying to leave you in a pool of blood. That's what he's trying to do. He really want to take you out. And he's not playing. I'm looking at his mugshot. He not playing. This guy really with the shits. You know what I'm saying? Because he got that blink on him. He letting you know, like, I'm kicking down this door and I'm going to hit you with the spunk foe. You know, I'm glad that somebody called the cops. I don't know if you did. I don't know who else. I don't know who called the cops. But you're not safe there. You're going to have to move. And if you don't move, shit, I don't know. But I'm just saying, if you're not gonna move, then you better go to your brother's house and get a shotgun, or go to the gun store and get some more. I don't know. You got to do something, Liv, because you can't just stay there if you're not strapped. And the fact that you don't want to be in a relationship to have a man to protect you, I mean, damn. Like, I'm just saying, Liv's in trouble because she don't realize that these hitters are after you. You know, like I said, like, Liv Morgan needs to figure out as a woman or what she need to do, because like I said, this is not no laughing matter. You're not regular no more. I thought you was, but you ain't regular no more. The fact that this guy pulling up to your house about to get you clapped up, I mean, you're going to have to figure it out, because you over here worrying about Dom when you should be worrying about your safety. And you're injured and you got one arm? Come on, Liv. Like, I'm just saying. Matter of fact, let me stop calling you Liv, because I'm just calling you Morgan. I'm gonna call you by your last name, because if I call you Liv, it's just gonna bring this bar up where Morgan's in a process. Like, Morgan's life is on the line because this guy's literally letting you know that he don't want you living no more. Get it? Live. That's what I'm saying. So this is why we gotta have perseverance. Because you over here worrying about a dude that you can't even bring home and protect you from this man. And you over here worrying about someone that you can't even bring home to protect you. Come on, Liv. Stop playing. I mean, Morgan, stop playing. Okay? Stop playing. It's time to move on. Okay? You want to focus on work? Focus on work. But don't focus on a dude. Focus on gold. Go after the women's world title. Become the 2-time women's world champion. Or go to SmackDown and become WWE women's champion. If you're going to be tag team champion with Rhea, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, I'm telling Rhea right now that Liv Morgan cannot be trusted. I would keep a close eye on her, because you know she's going to betray you. You know she will. You know she's going to betray you. Because I'm telling you, I saw on a podcast I heard on a podcast that she does not want to be face no more. She wants to be heel. So if she go back to that, I can see that, because Liv Morgan is, I'm telling you right now, Liv Morgan does not care about this friend shit. She care about fame. And that's just what it is. And this fame is almost got her life snatched. So I'm just saying, stop focusing on a dude that does not belong to you, and focus on gold that you need to go after. So if Roxanne becomes women's world champion, fine, go after the belt, but win the Royal Rumble and go after the belt. But stop acting like that the boy matters, when in reality, it's about you. It's not about Dom. It's not about the Judgment Day. It's about you. And you could probably say the same with Finn, but that's why I say both of y'all need to get kicked out, because we all know that Dom is not the problem here. It's y'all egos. So if Finn and Liv get into an argument, that's fine. It makes sense because these two do not like each other. And if anybody should be kicked out, it should be both of them. Okay? And you can have JD too. Even though he didn't do anything wrong, he's riding with Finn, so he got to go as well. So I'm hoping it comes to that. I'm hoping that the real people that should be kicked out is Finn and Liv, and then have Dom take over. And then at that point, Finn will be babyface again, and Liv will probably allegedly will be babyface. And then after that, it'll be Finn and Liv versus Dominic Mysterio's squad and whatnot. So again, well, hopefully it will come to that. But in the meantime, we have to wait and see. But hopefully they have Dominic Mysterio take the lead, where he could lead Roxanne and Raquel, and then add 2 more members to the clique. And then after that, we'll figure it out from there where we go from there. So my hope is that Dominic Mysterio becomes the World Heavyweight Champion and Roxanne help him, so that way he can carry his uncle's legacy, with that title. So hopefully he could do that, or his spotter, we'll see. But hopefully that could come to that. I'm hoping it could come to that, but we have to wait and see. So, but yeah, man, prayers up for Liv Morgan, man. Hopefully she can live another day, so that way she can, we could see her at the Royal Rumble, and maybe she can win or come back and team up with Rhea and go after tag titles, and whatever happens after that. I just hope Dom gets out of it. Dom stay away from women, stay away from it. So, but we have to wait and see. But yeah, man, I'm glad that Sam is talking about this. I'm glad you got his own podcast. Again, do I think the Judgment Day is going to break up? Well, it all depends. Like I said, if you kick out Finn and Liv Morgan, and then you lead and you have Dom take the lead, and JD quits and go with Finn, and and then it'd be left with Roxanne and Raquel, and then he had 2 more members. It'll still be around thanks to Dom and whatnot, because he's gonna hold it down. So the only way it will separate is if you kick Dom out and he don't bring Roxanne and Raquel with him. If you want perseverance, you gotta make change, and I think that's the best change. Have Dom take the lead and have Finn and Liv Morgan get kicked out. So, and then JD quits and go with him or go somewhere else. So, that's what I suggest, and hopefully it comes to that. But y'all comment down below, man. What do you guys think, man? Do you think the Judgment Day is gonna split still, or do you think they're gonna stay together, and hopefully they'll have Dom take the role, and while Finn goes solo and Liv goes solo, and JD, I don't know what they're going to do with JD. I hope he go with Finn, but, or get released and go somewhere else. I don't know. But, or hopefully they rehire Carlito, and he'll be the 4th member of the Judgment Day, and then the 5th one we have to figure out. Now, I don't think that Ray is going to be the 5th member if they make up, but he'll at least be the tag team partner if Finn and JD challenge Dom, and and he's looking for a partner, he can team up with Ray. So hopefully that will be the case, and then hopefully he'll start cutting promos, and then that way people will stop booing him. So I'm hoping for that. But y'all comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Are they gonna split or are they not? Y'all comment down below, let me know. But I'm gonna tell you this right now: Liv Morgan will be the first one gone. And Finn Balor, hopefully he'll be gone too. And then that way Dom will take over. And then JD goes. And then it'll just be left with 2 people. And then he add 2 more people. So, hopefully that will be the case. But y'all comment down below. Let me know. Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, all right? And I got to end the video with this.
Roxanne and Dommy